The Sith have long been known for their obsession with the dark side of the Force. For thousands of years, they performed horrific rituals to become closer and to obtain more of the dark power which fuels them. However, a select few have actually opened a door to the dark side and visited a realm made of nothing but pain and suffering, what they literally refer to as the dark side. In this video, I will detail what the door to the dark side is, how it can be opened, and how Luke Skywalker was sent there by an ancient Sith Lord. Following his defeat to his former master, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Darth Vader worked alongside his new master, Darth Sidious, to master his hate and rage to become an instrument of death and a Lord of the Sith. To further his training and gain some ownership of the galaxy he helped Sidious to conquer, Darth Vader requested that a planet be given to him, and where better to settle down than on Mustafar, the planet where he suffered his greatest defeat. Sidious made preparations for his apprentice's base to be built there, and sent along the mask of the ancient Sith Lord, Darth Momin, hoping Vader would learn from an experience with the haunted artifact. The mask influenced the architect who was meant to design Vader's castle, and the spirit of Momin eventually possessed her. Darth Momin was an ancient Sith artist and architect who lived prior to the Rule of Two. Darth Momin's power was immense, and in his prime he built a machine which he channeled the Force through that could freeze time indefinitely in a localized area. However, he was stopped by the Jedi of his time, and his machine was destroyed with him and the entire city. Being an exceptionally powerful Sith, Momin's essence was poured into the mask, where he could live on through anyone who dared to don his horrifying visage. Darth Momin promised Vader that if the right structure was built on Mustafar, a dark side nexus, he could open a door to the dark side and reunite Vader with Padme, and Momin delivered, mostly. He designed a structure to channel the natural dark side energy present on Mustafar and opened the door, which brought forth a past version of himself, his greatest work of art, who battled Vader in a deadly lightsaber duel. However, Vader came out on top and crushed the Sith Lord with a slab of stone. Following this battle, Darth Vader opened the door himself and stepped inside, into the dark side. When entering this spiritual plane, Darth Vader abandoned his physical body and took on an ephemeral spiritual form. His body was full of rage and malice, while his limbs burned brightly with the light side, beacons of light within this desolate landscape. While here, Vader saw visions, memories of his past, and his potential future. He witnessed his entire life before him, but also relived every moment, all the joy, the pain, the suffering, until he reached the precipice of his castle, which suddenly transformed into the Jedi Temple, which was located on Coruscant. There he met all the Jedi Masters who held him back, those who could not help him save Padme, those who turned their backs on him. Failures. Steeped in the dark side, Darth Vader slaughtered the Jedi Masters, cutting each one down until there was only 2 left. However, one of these was not a Jedi Master, but a Sith Lord, Darth Sidious. Sidious and Vader's former master, Obi-Wan Kenobi, fought to the death, and Sidious won. Vader then approached his master and destroyed him with powerful red Sith lightning. After all, Sidious was just as bad, if not worse, than the Jedi who failed Anakin. Sidious was a liar, a manipulator, his abuser who promised the world but delivered nothing but pain. Finally free, finally his own master, Vader could do anything, but he was still haunted by the past. Anakin was still there, still inside of him, and he had to destroy him. Suddenly, a beacon of pure light appeared before Vader, a being more powerful than those he had just cut down. This light side entity took up their lightsaber, igniting it in a bright blue beam, which overwhelmed Vader and pushed him out of the dark side and back to his physical body. Many years later, Darth Vader's son, Luke Skywalker, following his defeat to his father in Cloud City, was on the search for a new lightsaber. He was brought to a Kyber crystal scientist who requested that Luke try and heal a bled Sith Kyber crystal for research purposes. Luke attempted to do as they requested, and when he tried, he was confronted by the owner of the Kyber crystal, whose hate and suffering had been poured into the crystal, turning it red. This is necessary for any Sith to truly bond with their Kyber crystal and receive a red lightsaber. They must pour their negative emotions into the crystal, poisoning it and bleeding it red. This dark side user is unknown to Luke and the audience, but it may be Exum Panchard, a powerful dark side wielder who lived long before the Rule of Two or even the Sith. Exum spent their time torturing and slaughtering hundreds, if not thousands, of their subjects for no other reason than to feel the sick pleasure that doing so gave them. Luke would battle Exum, who returned via their mask long after the fall of the Empire, much like when his father battled Darth Momin, but that's a story for another time. But I don't think this parallel is mere coincidence. I think Exum and Momin are linked through not only their masks and their battles with the Skywalkers, but also both being responsible for Vader and Luke meeting each other within the dark side itself, as this dark side user approached Luke and sent him into the dark side as well. Upon arriving, Luke also shed his physical form and took on one of pure light, save for his hand, which was taken from him by his father. This loss represented Luke's propensity for the dark side, his hidden rage which he could fall victim to from time to time, most notably when he battled his father for the final time upon the second Death Star, and briefly when he saw what his nephew Ben would do years later. Within the dark side realm, Luke saw his father in a miracle of the Force bridging space and time to bring them together in this moment. Luke ignites his lightsaber, red, in fear, and the dark side envelops him while the light side envelops his father, which is a true tale of the Skywalker. So much power. The power to bring balance to the Force, but also the power to destroy everything. I really loved this most recent issue of Star Wars and its connections to Charles Soule's 2017 Darth Vader run, as well as the sequel trilogy, because while I didn't cover it here, Luke does force project for the first time in this issue as well. Let me know down in the comments if you want a video on that, and if you want more Star Wars comic book videos in the future, and also let me know what you think of the current run of Star Wars comics. I wanted to just take a time here to highlight this awesome parallel between Luke, his father, as well as two ancient Sith Lords who came into contact with these two powerful Force users throughout their journeys. Again, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Remember to like and subscribe. It does really, really help us out. And remember the motto, it's the door to the dark side over everything. And I'll see you guys next time.